All right, let's see if this is working now, folks. Okay, well, welcome. I'm just going to pretend like it's going to work. I'm a little panicked. We'll see what happens. Let me refresh this feed over here, everybody, because I want to make sure you can all see and enjoy. I can get the comments going here. Let's see what's going to happen. Is it going to log in? Are we going to go live? Trying to project live on YouTube and Facebook at the moment. Let's see how we're doing here. Nothing like a little warm up, right? Get you panicked. There it is. It's working. Praise the Lord. I love that. Fantastic. And Barb is here and Milana's here. I'm probably saying that wrong. I am so sorry. Okay. So here's the deal, folks. We are going to do some fantastic free motion quilting, and we're really just going to do some quilting today, because if you've been following this series live, we've been playing with this wonderful quilt a bunch, but we really haven't done much quilting. We've been doing a lot of talking. So we will do our announcements like normal, but the biggest announcement, and I'm going to just take a little bit and let everybody log in and figure out what's happening here, is that we are now simulcasted. How cool is that here at So Well, right? So my name is Rob Appell. I'm a quilt maker. I'm blessed to be employed by Stitch in Heaven in Quitman, Texas. I live in beautiful Morro Bay, California, and that's where I'm broadcasting from today. If all goes well, I'm broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook live, because we're getting ready for a super huge event on New Year's Eve day. We're super excited about it. You've probably started hearing about it already. It will be both live at Stitch in Heaven in Texas, but it will also be a virtual event being supported by Craft CTM Marketing, and it's going to be huge. So that's something very, very exciting. So I'm testing today some of the final technology so that we can make sure we have everything ready for audio, video, multiple cameras, all kinds of action and all that kind of stuff. So at anyways, I'm hoping you can hear me. I am monitoring the comments over here on YouTube, so I'm not monitoring on the Facebook feed right now. I apologize. We will figure that out. Eventually, we'll probably just have a second monitor. But anyways, that's what's going on. We're really excited. It is Thursday. It is November 3rd. And on Sunday, I jump on an airplane to fly back to Texas because I get to participate in the wonderful Veterans Day event. Combat Quilter and Quilting Marine are coming out. I get to meet them in person for the first time. Super excited to hang out with Mark and Andrew. It's going to be a blast. And we're going to be draping veterans and first responders with beautiful patriotic quilts, part of the Quilts of Valor ceremony on Veterans Day at 11:11 in the quilt, excuse me, in front of the courthouse in Quitman. Sorry, I'm a little choked up. And it's just going to be amazing. So if you're anywhere near, please come and join us. It's going to be a great time where we actually also celebrate what we believe very strongly in, and that's the wellness that comes from quilting. So not only do we make beautiful things, but it makes us feel wonderful inside. And that's a message we hope to get to share with many first responders and veterans coming up this weekend. So we'll be trying to broadcast a little bit. So anyways, that's what I'm really excited about. So we're going live today, Thursday, instead of tomorrow, because I really need to get focused on that trip. It's going to be really cool. While we're on announcements, so I just found this out today, so I'm probably spilling the beans a little early, but Scott Flanagan is going to be at our retreat center in Quitman, Texas. He's going to be there November 16th through 20th teaching at a retreat. And I apologize. I do not know if the retreat is sold out or not yet. But I found out today he's going to be doing a book signing in person in the shop, which means it's open to the public. And he's got a couple of books, and it's going to be really awesome. So that's kind of off of my radar, but I want you to put it on your calendars. I don't know which day, somewhere between the 16th and the 20th of November. That should be coming up and really awesome. So I'm excited about that. Now, part of the technology we're testing is I've got this really cool deal here where I can put up on the screen parts of my announcement. So right now I'm going to put up on the screen the conversation about the Sewing Expo. It's happening December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at Quitman, Texas, at Stitch in Heaven to help celebrate the new building. We kept talking about the move. We didn't move. We've expanded, including a giant expo center, and we're going to have 3 full days of classes with amazing presenters, myself included. So I really, really like the look of this slide. I mean, don't you think that's a pretty attractive slide? I'm pretty jazzed about this one. So I will be there. Tiffany Hayes will be there. We're going to be doing a bunch of demonstrating and just bothering all of you while you're trying to learn from the other presenters. What I want to tell you right now, we had a promotion going. The normal cost of a day pass is $20, and there's 3 days. So right now, this does not pertain to the VIP pass where you get your t-shirt and all your other wonderful stuff for the extra prizes and things. But these are if you're purchasing 1 day passes, you can get them right now for $1 per day pass. But your limit's 3, so you can purchase single 1 day passes. I still recommend the VIP pass, but it's going to be amazing. We're going to be limited for how many people can really come, so please don't wait too long to get your tickets. The link is in our description today below the video on YouTube. I have no idea what it looks like on Facebook right now, so we'll evaluate that later. Hopefully, Coffee with Anita. Anita is watching on Facebook and taking care of things, but she might be doing something else today. I'm not sure what's going on. So anyways, this is going to be really, really cool. The 1 day pass, it's going to be an amazing event, but yeah, the dollar right now for the 1 day pass, I think is super, super exciting. It's going to be cool, but I like the graphics. I'm getting myself a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? So at any rate, the other reason that I think these are really cool, it's really fun to be able to engage with you all live. Like right now, so I can see over here that Charlotte's saying hello from Iowa, and Lisa's coming in from Cache. Oh, I wonder if that pertains, right? I've got a baseball quilter. I mean, this is pretty cool stuff. So as you're coming in and participating this way, when we go live, you can ask questions, you can participate. It's really wonderful for me to get to be part of this incredible quilting industry and this community. That's the word I'm really looking for. Sorry, I was struggling for that word, but that's really what it is. It's a community of people that really, really support each other. And so anyways, that's why I'm blessed to be here. And this is why I like the live videos. But it's harder to put visual information into a live video. So we're investing in this technology that I think is really awesome. So for example, tonight, the flash sale, and we're going to talk about quilt backings here in a second, but let me show you what we have for flash sale tonight. And that is the Ben Artex. It's 108-inch wide. It's a wide back. These are 3-yard bundles, and it's a really awesome kind of a modern sunflower in a medium gray. And I really, really think that's fantastic. One, because I love wide backs. So on this quilt we've been working on right now. Oh, and I'm sorry, the link for that, you can just go to Stitch in Heaven. If you want the wide backs, the 3-yard bundles, they're available now. You can check those out. Now I'm going to the overhead camera because I'm going to pull this quilt back a little bit so you can see what's happened. Now, if you're just joining us for the first time, there are several of these live feed videos up and out there where we've been quilting along. And one of the things I was doing is I was using a green bobbin thread to match this green solid fabric. We've used about 5 different sewing machines so far, and some of them have done not as good of a job as others. We were also playing with tension and describing the things that just happen to all of us machine quilters that are quilting. This is regular, even for the pros like myself. So one of the things we really know, there's a couple of workarounds. I'm hoping when I wash this quilt that some of the tension will settle in a little bit better. But one of the things I want to just kind of be aware of here is, and I wasn't even doing it to trick. I guess I was just learning myself. There's so many things to consider that go into color choices and fabric choices and threads and needles and all of that. What would have been really good in this quilt is if I used not a solid backing fabric. So something like that Ben Artex sunflower that's got several different shades and tones really helps kind of hide or camouflage what's going on the back. If we're struggling with tension balance, we want to cheat so the top is beautiful and the back is as beautiful as it can be in a tension balance tug-of-war situation, right? And so what I'm encouraging now, the other real trick is, and would have been the better of the two answers, is to match my top thread with my bobbin thread, so that even if the loop wasn't perfectly taut in the batting of the quilt, it would be much harder to see some of these little specks and these little spots and things like you see here. The big loops are going to be big loops. You can't even avoid the look of the big loops. So I'm hoping some of those will wash down and tighten up, because all of the work we are doing is unwashed and 100% cotton right now. So anyways, with that said, what I really would like to do today, for as much time as possible. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I forgot we have one other special going too. And I've got a couple of other little quick announcements up here on the board. Fantastic. And so anyways, oh, and my dad, love you, Dad. I hope you're watching. I just got your text message. Anyways, sorry, he was distracting, but he was having some important things happen this morning, and I love you, Dad. Okay, so here we go. This is the quilt kit that is on sale right now as part of our midnight special. So up until midnight tonight, the Timberline kit. This is an awesome, awesome kit. You know, with these project kits like this, the way that Stitch in Heaven does them are just fantastic. And so at any rate, if you're more of a traditional quilter, I see this as kind of a traditional quilt, both in texture, color, and all of that. I think this one would be a blast. This is also one of those great quilts that you could work on kind of periodically on the side of your other projects as you're working through and everything. So this is, anyways, this is just a fun, fairly consistent patchwork project. If you're a quilt kit aficionado like I am, you might want to check this out. It's on sale through up till midnight tonight at stitchinheaven.com. Grab yourself that Timberline kit. And the last thing I want to tell you about is the video that just launched, but I'm not going to tell you what that is until the end of today's video, because I want you to stick around for some of this quilting that I've been promising. So right now I am on the, this is a Baby Lock Jane. I don't remember if we've measured this together or not yet. Like I said, we've tried several different machines together. This one is 8 3/4 from the harp or the edge of the machine to the right in the center of my needle. Now last night I was just, I actually wrapped up don't tell Deb, but I wrapped up a little early. I was prepping and doing an interview and another video shoot, and I finished around about 4 o'clock or so. I didn't really have another big project to dive into. And part of the thing, and I don't want to spill the beans, the guest I was interviewing was talking about the importance of our creative time. Now, almost everything I do in a day is creative, but what I hadn't done much of is physically quilting on this quilt since the last time we worked together. So I sat down last night and burned through a bobbin really quick on this because I really like the way this machine performs. It's one of my favorite machines for free motion quilting because this is just a straight stitch only machine. So like I said, it's the Baby Lock Jane, but the Juki TL 2010, Brother 1500, a Pfaff Grand Quilter, Viking Mega Quilter. A lot of these machines are very similar in the fact that they just are a straight stitch. They're kind of built for this job. So it's not the biggest of machines, but it's really solid. It's a smooth workhorse, and I really enjoy just that download time. I put on some music and I just quilted through a bobbin. So I've wound a few bobbins today, and I really thought that maybe we could just do that together, is we could just sit and quilt for about 10 or 15 minutes, listen to some music. I brought in a piece of music. I want to make sure that that works for the technology too. And I think we can cover a pretty decent sized section of this project together here. And I just kind of want to talk about that and just kind of, I'll flow and talk a little bit. So as I'm getting ready to start the machine quilting, let me just check my comments on YouTube real quick. Make sure if I have any questions that I can answer those. Snowing in Wyoming. Ooh, it's pretty nice and warm here in California still. So anyways, Barb, I'm glad you love my videos. I love being able to do the videos, and it requires all of you out there to continue to support the videos. So please make sure you're subscribed. Thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. That really helps us promote the videos, I've been finding out. Okay, now I know I look a little silly right now, but because I've got my technology, this is for technology, not for quilting, folks. So you know I love my Machine Gears gloves, and I'm going to go 9 fingers today instead instead of 10. I want to be able to switch the cameras around so you can see what we're going to be doing with our quilting. I think this will help a little bit. I am not in the most comfortable of body positions right now, but this is going to work nice for the video. And yesterday, as I was quilting, as I was just telling that story here, I did. Let me go ahead and go so you can all see real quick. So there we are. We are where we left off last night, right here. And what's happened is I've run out of bobbin thread. Well, I'm not out of bobbin thread anymore, but I was. And so you can see a few of these stitches right here. That's because there was no more tension at all on the bobbin. So I can't do much about that. And if the quilt itself was already perfect and those were my only bad stitches, I would pull those out. But being that those are just part of the bad stitches, let's just keep on moving today, folks. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to back up about 4 stitches here because I want to try to lock in. I couldn't tie this off. I couldn't secure this last stitch because it ran out before I expected. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to take by hand and I'm going to do a full rotation of the machine so I can bring up my bobbin thread. This is how I've been teaching you all, if you've watched the other videos, to start and or stop your machine quilting. Now, the reason I told you I'm not in the most comfortable body position is that is today's excuse for if you're going to hear the machine speed up. Part of quilting that is so important is our balance in our hand and our foot rhythm. You need to be comfortable so that you can control your foot speed or slow your machine down. I cannot slow my machine down on this machine. So you may hear the machine race away from me, but that's just, we'll call it the, if there's magic of television, that'll be the devil of television. But here we go. Let's just lock a few stitches in place. Okay, now I'm going to quilt my way out of here. And I'm just going to stop for a second so we can get these threads out of the way. Now I've increased the exposure a little bit on this camera so you can see what's going on a little bit better. Please do not complain that we're using black thread on a black fabric. If you missed the information on that, that's in the first video. I still want the quilt to look nice, and I want to honor the cool black against this amazing Vanessa & Co. ombre fabric that are used for all the patchwork and the stars. Okay, here we go. Now, if this is the first time you're watching me quilt this quilt, I've already done some straight stitching around the patchwork where I'm working now in some of the spots. Still honoring the quilt, working from where I started and working my way out. But I wanted to address some of our concerns as potential, what I was calling domestic, free motion machine quilters. And that first concern is our space. Okay, so let's go to our overhead camera now. And you can see that with my hands working, I have this hand usually butt up against here. And I'm just going to go ahead and spread my fingers wide, and that helps keep the quilt flat. And I really wouldn't want to be working with my hands much wider than this, technically. So you can see with my micro movements, even this 8-inch machine, and if I was investing in a machine, I would try not to buy much smaller than 8 for this kind of work. But it works really nice. Okay, and I'm just kind of doodle quilting. I'm just filling in the distance in the black fabric between where I've straight line quilted. Oh, foot's getting away from me a little bit. Let's slow down. The faster the machine is running, the faster I need to be moving my hands to keep my stitches equal. Okay, and let's just stop. I need to take a break, and that's one of the things we've talked about before, is knowing where your starts and stop points are, knowing where you're going to take a quick break so that I could get here. I needed to adjust, and I wanted to show all of you that this section back in here is where I still need to quilt. I want to always be working from where the quilting is. If I section this off in here and then try to quilt it, I could be developing some puckers. So because I've already straight line quilted along the edge of this patchwork here, I'm going to now just kind of dance along this edge as we go. I'm going to take another moment and adjust so that I can make sure I'm able to keep up all of you folks and your questions. Oh, good. Carl made it today. Hey, Carl, how you doing? Charlotte's here. This is fantastic. Now, I also, like I said, I wanted to play with a little bit of technology, so I'm going to put some music on. So those of you who are next to your keyboards, will you let me know if you can hear the music and the sewing machine, or only the music, please? I'm going to put on a song that's about, I think it's about 6 minutes or so, and I think I'm just going to quilt and let you all watch me. I'm sure I'll talk over it. So please let me know. I can see the comments, how the audio, if it changes now that the music is rocking and rolling. Okay. We'll see. Can you all hear it? All right. Let's see. Here we go. I'm just going to start quilting back up along that straight line again. Working my way back into where the quilting has already happened. So back here now I'm at the back corner. And okay, great, Barbara. So hopefully you can hear the music and my explanations of quilting. Please let me know on YouTube if you can hear both my voice and the music. And I don't know that I can adjust. Okay, only hear music. Okay, great, folks. I really appreciate it. I hear that you say you're just hearing the music, not the machine, so you're not hearing my explanations. So we've already gone through that test. I think I would rather be able to describe what I'm experiencing at the machine than you be able to hear the music. But thank you for working with me on that audio test, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and just keep on describing what I'm doing with the quilting now. What I was starting to say, though, is I had worked my way up along this patchwork portion that had already been straight stitched. This is where all the other stitching has been going on. I don't know if you can quite see that in this close camera. So I'm back in the corner where the stitching is, and now I'm gonna kind of work my way out of where that stitching is. And let's go ahead and do this a little bit here, and let's go. Well, that was fun. I got a little aggressive and just broke my thread. So we're going to now fix our thread as well. First time in the entire video series, though, folks. Not too shabby, huh? Okay, so I need to go ahead and bring my needle all the way back up. If you don't know what happened, I could almost feel that happening. But if you ever break thread and you're not sure why your thread broke, you may want to go back in. And I'm just going to move this camera real quick. So hang on, take your Dramamine. But looking at, your thread path, make sure nothing got wrapped. Last night, I was having an issue with my thread wrapping around this post for an extra time. And then all of a sudden I would see these green bumps in the stitches. And that was when I could hear the thread tension changing and everything. It was quite frustrating. Okay, so now on this machine, I do not have a needle threader. And this is black on black on black. So you might come back in 3 hours and I may still be threading this needle here. Let's see. A blind gal once told me there's a groove on the front of a needle. You can run your thread kind of down and it'll hit it. But I can't even find the needle right now, folks. Oh, this is embarrassing. Carl, get over here and thread this needle with me. Carl's coming to my retreat. That's going to be pretty exciting. If you don't know, I also have a retreat coming up in February. Oh, is it? Oh, yes. Oh, boy. Well, that was almost as bad as the first run on today's video technology. Oh, I love it, folks. Okay, we got it. But now I did break that thread right up in here. I hit a bump. I kind of jerked the fabric. I could feel it ripping and pulling and stuff. So now what I want to do again is just take another stitch, secure. Sorry about hitting the tripod there. It does a live feed. This is the advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, now I've got a loop because my bobbin didn't get broken. So I'm going to take a couple stitches to lock this in, take a couple stitches to get out of the way, so I can come back over here and cut these threads because they're totally in my way right now. Okay, now with this said, what I was about to just point out is I have not done my straight line quilting along the edge of this star. Now that I have quilted into this distance and this area, I can go ahead and quilt down along this star here. So I'm just going to use my presser foot as a guide. Oh, hit the gas again a little too fast. Coming down, find a good place to stop, recalibrate. Just eyeballing it. And then I can go back into the quilt work that was being done. Again, to avoid creating any puckers, I am now quilting up against the stitching that I just laid down first, and I will work myself again back into the open spaces that are available. This kind of quilting is very freeing, folks. And if you're pretty new to machine quilting, I'm telling you, if I would have used black thread in the bobbin also, you couldn't see any of the good or any of the bad, and it would be a great place to do your first series of machine quilting. I personally love this style of quilting where I'm kind of doing maybe a couple different techniques at once. Straight line like this, and then the fill-in. Okay, now something else we've talked about in a few of the videos. I am now, I'm going to call it a finger's distance away from a safety pin. But the safety pin is right near the batting. I'm near the edge of the quilt. And I was mentioning in the basting videos, I actually remove these pins as I get closer because you can see there's just some looseness that's happening and it's trapped up against this safety pin right here. Okay, so we don't want that. So I'm going to pull this safety pin out right now. And there's actually another safety pin right over here, and there's stitching right here. So this safety pin can also be removed so that all of this area goes flat and relaxed, lays nice on the batting and on the backing as I go ahead and straight line this section now here. Same thing, the green patchwork at my thumb or on the bottom of the video, all of this area here doesn't have straight line around it either. So I want to get into this corner, bring the straight line here and finish out this direction while I'm working. As soon as I'm on target, I can now flow this way and this way. And now I am just one square, right, from the edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my hands to kind of pull this flat. And I'm just going to go ahead and stitch all the way off to the batting now. Now that I'm in the batting, oh, I'm way out of frame for you. Sorry, folks. Now that I'm in the batting, I am not going to jump over to this next section and come back up. That could be hazardous for filling in the gap. So I have two options. I can stitch my way back up, or I can tie off here and come back up into the quilt where the stitching is and then come back down towards the edge, which is the better of the plans. So I'm going to just now, this is nice. I can be kind of sloppy here, take a couple of stitches out here in the batting, like so. And then this particular machine has a built-in thread cutter, but if I use that, I won't have a long enough tail for the bobbin. So I am going to still go ahead and lift my presser foot, lift up my needle completely, slide this out, cut my threads, and if I cut the bobbin colored thread off of there too, generally that frees my bobbin tail. Now let's come back up here because this is where the stitching is kind of last. This is the deepest part of the canyon, the deepest part of the channel, right, that hasn't been stitched on. So we're going to go ahead now and do our regular start stop. So needle down once, needle up. If you have a button that does that for you, I encourage you to use it. Dropping my presser foot. That's my biggest hazard. I forget to do that. I'm holding my threads as I lock in a few stitches. And now it's just free motion quilting as usual, up against the straight line outline or echo quilting of the patchwork and into the fluidness of the graffiti or doodle quilting, the reckless abandon quilting. Pretty cool. All right, folks. So I'm just going to quilt for a few more minutes. Please get your questions in on YouTube. If there's anything I can answer for you today, I would love to. I'm preparing to wrap it up a little bit here. One of these days, we'll be able to figure out how to monitor comments on Facebook while I'm flying solo. But now that my wonderful kids are all grown up and in high school all day long, they're not able, and college actually, able to be with us here on camera. Although, next time I've got another idea. We'll bring in a live performance musician with us. My son is an amazingly talented guitar player, so if you all ask nicely, I'll get him to come in with his guitar and play while we quilt so that you can hear the instructions and see the quilting all at the same time. I think that sounds like a kind of a cool idea, don't you, folks? So anyways, I wanted to just kind of show you again how quickly we can get a bunch of quilting done. I know I was talking. I know it's distracting. It's really actually quite hard, and I don't recommend you trying to have many conversations while free motion quilting. What I really recommend you all do is get some wonderful music that you like. Even put on the headphones and get deep into what you're doing and just learn to dance with your sewing machine and learn to dance with your quilt. I will say, even though we all know we're having some tension issues on this quilt's going to be badass when it's done. I'm super excited about it because the black stitching literally, like once you get a few inches away from it, we don't see these tension issues on the front whatsoever. And we're setting up to do some really cool quilting in the stars themselves. So I'm really pumped up about this. I forgot to mention, folks, but this is called the Texas Starlight. This is a kit we have available. There were white background kits. I don't know if those are still available or not. There are black background kits, and I know that I put that link in today's description, hopefully on both Facebook and YouTube. So let me go ahead and check in on everybody. Make sure I've got all of everybody's questions answered today. Oh, I was getting, yes, the tips for how to get that needle threaded, right? Oh, okay. Carl's got a question. What speed am I running? And I'll get my son to play for sure. But yeah, so on the machine, this is the baby lock, Jane. I think it goes 15 or 1600 stitches per minute, and I was probably at about 1200. But one of the things that I actually do not love about this machine, especially for a new free motion quilter, there's not a speed regulator on this machine. And a lot of the other machines I mentioned do have speed regulators. So size, needle down, and then speed regulation. I'm not talking about stitch regulation. I'm talking about speed regulation, where you can actually set the machine so that it will only go maybe 50% maximum or 75% maximum, so that you can get it so you're basically pedal to the metal on your foot control, but your hands are very comfortable at a rhythm that your shoulders and your elbows and your needle all get along with. So I'm probably running at about 1400 stitches per minute. And Carl, as I do more and more practice and when I'm really focused, I'm finding I prefer to quilt slower than faster. I think my quality's improving that way. If you're in the same boat, if you're starting to try to really narrow in or hone in on some of your skills, this is where we need to be scientific about it and start to spend a day where you try to quilt really fast and see what it looks like, or quilt really slow and see what it looks like, or press your seams open or press your seams closed, or whatever it is you're experimenting with, do one thing at a time. And that way you can really see what things make improvements as we go along. I think this is really important. Um, uh, Oh, thank you very much, Dragonflies for Donna. I appreciate that. She has a nice compliment about, and if saying that I dance and it makes her feel happy. I wish I could dance that well in person because my wife's an amazing dancer and I always embarrass her. So, hey, I told you all I had a couple more announcements. So let's do this, folks. I'm going to put up my email real quick on the screen so you can ask me questions. Last week I got an email as soon as I logged off. That was awesome. So thank you. Send me your questions. We can even do maybe one of these live videos where we do a Q&A. I think that would be really fun where I can answer some more of your questions. I wanted to let you know that I have a very fun video that just posted yesterday, and it is called the Mountains and Plains Quilt. It's a quilt that was designed by Jackie Kunkel, and it is a really fun and easy quilt, but it's really dynamic when it's done. Speaking of free motion quilting, she does some really cool free motion quilting in it that I don't want to say it wasn't complicated because I don't want to discredit Jackie in any way. It's simple looking, but it's very dynamic. So please go check out that video. I think you'll really enjoy it. Share it with your friends. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. That really helps the channel grow. And make sure you support Jackie. She'll be teaching at a retreat. She'll be teaching at a quilting cruise coming up really soon. So Jackie is part of the family at Stitch in Heaven, and that's just really excited to have her. And how do I want to say it? It's an honor to get to use other people's designs because I cannot come up with every possible thing on my own. And there are a bunch of really fantastic designers out there. And I feel super blessed to be part of a network of people that collaborate well together. And so, Jackie, I just want to personally say thank you right now. For trusting me. Jackie trusted me before she knew me, and I think she's pleased with the results. So anyways, Jackie, I appreciate your trust. And everybody else, I appreciate your trust out there and watching these live videos. We're having a ton of fun with it. Thank you for helping us test our technology. Make sure you get your $1 day pass right away for Expo. Come and hang out with me. I will be there. We can do hugs in person. I am super excited. It will be amazing. And also don't forget, we've got 3 yard cuts of the amazing Ben Artex backing. So if you're into quilting, you're going to need the back. And if you're into backings, then you're going to need a front. So here's a beautiful quilt top kit for you, and you can enjoy and love it. And we appreciate you being here, everybody, today. So I'm going to say thank you for watching. I'm coming back on the screen to wave and say thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And send me an email if there's another question I can answer for you. I'll be live from Texas, I'm sure, next week. We